You're staring at a blank screen. Your hands hover frozen. There's this voice that shadowy beast Stephen Pressfield calls resistance, whispering, "Not yet, not today." It's 3 a.m. in your cluttered apartment in Brooklyn. You're not crazy. Resistance is real, alive, relentless. But what if knowing your enemy is half the battle? What if you could outsmart this invisible force and finally finish that project that's been haunting you? First things first, recognize resistance. It's not just laziness or a bad day, it's an active, malevolent force. Pressfield paints it as the enemy you didn't know was waging war against your creative soul. Pressfield shares a revealing story from his own life. After publishing several novels, he faced resistance that crippled his writing for years. It wasn't beginner's nerves, even seasoned pros like him felt the crushing weight of resistance, showing it doesn't discriminate. Think of resistance as a cunning chess opponent, not just blocking your next move, but anticipating your strategies and waiting for you to slip. It thrives on fear, procrastination, self-doubt. It's not just inertia, it's a relentless force fighting dirty. Here's the twist: resistance can be beaten by the simple act of starting. Pressfield's secret weapon is one word: do. Do the work, no matter how ugly, no matter how small. Action alone disarms resistance's power, turning the enemy into a stepping stone. Doing the work isn't just about willpower. Pressfield maps out the exact checkpoints where resistance pounces, the predictable traps every creator hits. Knowing these is like having a GPS through creative hell. At the start, resistance sweet-talks you with excitement and grand plans. Pressfield recalls a screenwriter who dove in with wild energy, only to get paralyzed by the fear of failing big. The seduction here: starting feels great, until doubts sneak in. Midway through, the infamous wall rises. This is where resistance turns brutal, disguising itself as fatigue, self-criticism, and distractions. Pressfield calls it the Act 2 hangover and warns it's when 90% of creators quit. It's like hitting a storm in a marathon just when your legs scream to stop. At the end, resistance throws everything it's got: fear of finishing, fear of judgment, the temptation to tinker endlessly. Pressfield shares how completing a book felt like crossing a battlefield, but that final push crackles with a mix of dread and exhilaration. Victory tastes sweeter here because few reach it. Resistance makes huge projects seem impossible. Pressfield flips that by breaking giant goals into simple daily acts, shifting the focus from outcome to process. This tiny pivot, it transforms fear into momentum. Pressfield describes a painter who was paralyzed by the grand vision for a mural. Instead of waiting for perfect, he began with just one brush stroke a day. That one imperfect stroke shattered resistance and built unstoppable momentum. He compares creative work to exercise, not a massive, rare event, but a daily habit. Like training your muscles, showing up every morning, even if just for 15 minutes, builds discipline and weakens resistance's grip. Over time, those tiny daily acts make the impossible habitual. Finally, Pressfield warns against perfectionism's trap. Shipping something unfinished feels scary, yet releasing work ignites feedback, growth, and momentum. The paradox: waiting for perfect keeps you stuck, while shipping imperfect work propels your creative career forward. Back to that midnight Brooklyn apartment, resistance snarls, but you type the first ugly line. You remember Pressfield's wisdom: resistance can't win if you do the work. So try this: pick your project, shut out the voice telling you to wait, and begin with one tiny imperfect step. The war is real, but victory is yours if you fight it one word at a time. Subscribe for more book summaries like this one.